Good morning, brethren. Welcome to our daily devotional. This morning and over the next few mornings, I want us to think about what Paul has to say at the beginning of 1 Corinthians chapter 13 about love. Love is patient and kind. It does not envy or boast. It's not arrogant or rude. It doesn't insist on its own way. It's not irritable or resentful. It doesn't rejoice at wrongdoing. It rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. And what I want to do is I want to take some of the distinguishing things that Paul identifies as being characteristic of love and look at those each morning. So this morning I want us to think about what Paul says here in verse 4. Love is patient. Don't forget he's writing to the church in Corinth. And in the church in Corinth, there were divisions. Earlier on in the book, we read about those divisions. Some people saying, I'm of Paul, others I'm of Apollos, others I'm of Peter, I'm of Christ. In other words, there were little cliques within the church. And Paul writes to rebuke them of that. And here later on in the letter, as he speaks about love, he says, love is patient. And the idea behind that Greek word patient is to be long suffering, long tempered. It's a bit like I could describe it as having a stick of dynamite, and it has a long fuse on it, and another stick of dynamite that has a short fuse on it. So the short fused stick of dynamite is impatience. In other words, once you light it, it hardly takes any time before the fuse is burnt through to the dynamite and the dynamite explodes. Whereas patience is like the long fused stick of dynamite. It takes a long time when the fuse is lit for the lit fuse actually to burn down to the dynamite. And the hope is that it'll not get that far, because by the time it has been burning, there'll be the reality of putting it out. Christians are to be long tempered, long fused. We have to put up with other people. The reality is that our churches are full of people who are very different one from another. Different in their knowledge, their understanding, different in their temperament, different in their hopes, different in their desires. And we have to realise that that's the case. And we have to allow for differences of opinion, differences of attitude, differences of temperament. Love does that. Love puts up with the foibles of others. Because don't forget, we ourselves, as far as other people are concerned, are people who have many foibles. And we have to be patient with people, just as God has been very patient with us. If God were to give us what we deserved, how quickly we would be thrown into hell. But God is patient with us, and He's patient with some of us for many years, so that eventually we come to repentance and faith. We are to be patient with others. Love demonstrates itself by patience. Are you patient with your wife? Wives, are you patient and long-suffering with your husband? Or has your fuse, husband, wife, become shorter over the years rather than longer? Parents, are you patient with your children? Children, are you patient with your parents? Congregations, are you patient with your minister, with your elders? Are you as a member patient with other people in the congregation who irritate you and annoy you? Well, when they irritate you and annoy you, that gives you an opportunity to demonstrate patience and to grow and to mature in this particular grace. A grace that is rooted and grounded in love. What is love? Love is patient. So, brethren, let's demonstrate our love for one another in our homes, in our places of work, and particularly in our church. And let us demonstrate it by being patient. God willing, tomorrow we look at another aspect of love. Have a good day, folks.